Welcome to Bryer Showcase. I'm Bryer Cisneros and welcome back to episode 5 of my top 100 favorite songs of all time mini-series. And as you can see, it is Halloween by the time this video comes out. I mean, look at me, I'm dressed as Pikachu this year. Pikachu! But regardless, like I just said, we are on episode 5, so we are halfway done with this series. So again, I just want to quickly say thank you to those who are watching this entire series from start to finish. It really means a lot, especially all the comments I've been getting. So in this video, we're going to be covering 60 to 51. So without further ado, let's do this. But before I do, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe. You know the drill. And also, I do want to remind some of you that tomorrow, November 1st, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, will be my CD haul live stream. So, of course, I'll be going over all the CDs I bought for October. So, look forward to that. Hopefully, I'll see you there. So, now, without further ado, let's get started with my number 60. In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. Now, Phil Collins is one of my favorite solo artists of all time, so it was kind of tough choosing a song, but I ultimately went with In the Air Tonight off his first album, Face Value. And by the way, this is the 2016 reissue, I believe. And here he reshot the album cover, which many people didn't care for. I don't mind personally, but still has a lot of bonus stuff to it. But anyhow, so In the Air Tonight, to me, is one of Phil's best. And the reason why it's so good was, and the booklet fell out, but I'm going to keep going. But as I was saying, so the reason why In the Air Tonight, to me, is probably Phil Collins' best song is basically just how well crafted it is. And basically, the big thing that really stands out was the use of a drum machine. Now, of course, Phil Collins is a drummer, so you would expect for him to actually play the opening drum pattern on an actual drum kit, but he did the smart thing and used a drum machine, because in my opinion, if he would have done it on an actual drum kit, it wouldn't have that same effect. And to me, this song has the best use of a drum machine ever in any song, period, in my opinion. Of course, later on in the 80s, you hear the drum machine so many times, but usually it's just there for a percussive thing. Like, it doesn't really add anything. It's just there. But in the Air Tonight, it really has something. It adds a certain texture and atmosphere that a regular drum kit just couldn't replicate, and it's absolutely spectacular. And you know, Phil Collins, he comes into the vocals with this very ominous tone, and what the song does also really well is how it builds tension. Like, you can tell there's tension, there's some sadness, there's some anger being pent up, and eventually when you finally get to the drums, when the real drums come in with that da 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 da, like, that's where all that anger, that pent up anger, just finally releases, and it's just Phil is just giving it his all into it, and it's just an absolute great work. So In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins, that's my 60th song on my list. So of course, let's go on to my number 59. Take On Me by a-ha. We've gone from one 80s classic to another 80s classic. Of course, Take On Me, who has not heard the song? I mean, it's just so 80s, but to me, Take On Me is pretty much the song I first think of when I think of the 80s. You have those very big keyboard sounds like da 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 da. You know what I'm talking about. Just so iconic. And of course, the lead singer, Morton Hannon. Who's the lead singer's name? What's his last name again? I know it's Morton. So one sec. It should say it right here. Yeah, Morton Harkett. Morton Harkett is his name, and one of the most iconic vocal performance on an 80s track. You know, he definitely has that wide range with his iconic high notes he always does, which is always the great ear candy of the song. And again, I just couldn't leave it out of the list because I've grown up listening to this song, because, you know, this song has been heard. You hear it all the time. even today, which just shows the staying power this song has, and for good reasons. So obviously I had to include it. So Take On Me by a-ha, not much else to say. So let's go on to my number 58. Little Red Corvette by Prince. We got Prince up next. It was actually kind of tough because it was between Little Red Corvette and Purple Rain. And while I do love Purple Rain, I went with Little Red Corvette because that's the song I usually go to if I want to listen to Prince. There's just so many great hooks into it. That's really the big thing I have to say about this song, are all the good hooks. And also the Little Red Corvette is just a great hook. I just love how Prince delivers the chorus, just so catchy. And even like the little other hooks you hear, like the guitar, what the guitar is doing, which is great, which also the song has a great guitar solo in it as well. But yeah, has a great groove, absolutely very memorable. And Prince, I mean, we all know how great of a singer Prince is. Like he can go all over. He's like all over the place in terms of his range. He's pretty much stays mid, but then at certain points he's not afraid to go high or give a little shriek, which is always pleasant to hear. So Little Red Corvette by Prince, fantastic song. Let's go on to my number 57.
When the last eagle flies over the last crumbling mountain.
The Last Unicorn by America. So now let's talk about some America. And all I have is this collection right here, but the song I'm talking about is not on this collection. So move that to the side. So what I'm actually going to be talking about is a song that the band did for a movie. And the movie is called The Last Unicorn. And it's kind of a somewhat, it's not really unknown, but it kind of has a little cult following. Not a whole lot of people know about it, but it's one of my favorite animated films of all time. To give a brief summary of the film, basically, I'm just giving you a one-sentence summary. So it's basically about this unicorn who finds out she's the last of her kind, and she goes on a quest to find out what happened to the others. That's the basic plot. If you want to hear more, I'll put a link in the description. I did a live stream with Jason the Old Millennial and Adam from What the Gym. We talked about our top 10 favorite animated films of all time. So I talked about it more in depth there. So I'll leave a link down below if you want to check that out. It's like I think over 2 hours long, so you have a lot to get through. So hopefully you'll enjoy regardless. But anyhow, back to what I was talking about. So I'm talking about the main theme of the movie, and God, what a beautiful opening, and especially when you see the film with the animation with it. God, just what a great visual, and it fits so well with the song fits so well with the movie. Just great vocals, great vocal harmony, and just great arrangement all overall. Yeah, that's a song I really suggest you go check out because, again, not many people know about it, but I think it's definitely a song by America that definitely needs a bit more attention. So The Last Unicorn, go check it out. And, you know, while you're at it, go check out the movie too if you're into animated films. Yeah, so let's go on to my number 56. Rock Bottom by UFO. Now let's talk about some more 70s hard rock. We're going with UFO with their song Rock Bottom off Phenomenon right here. And this is their third album, I believe. And also the first album to have Michael Schenker on guitar. And to many people, this is where UFO really got started. I haven't listened to their first two albums, but I heard their first two are very different than what we get here. They kind of was more of a space rock sound, hence why they were called UFO. But anyhow, Rock Bottom, one of UFO's best known songs. particularly because of Michael Schenker's guitar. And really, pretty much the whole album, like I said, Michael Schenker just really raised the bar when it comes to what UFO were doing at the time, because they were more heavier. Again, the guitars more prominent, no more of the space out sound they were doing before, but it's just more straightforward, more heavy, more rocking, and it's just absolutely great stuff right here. And of course, I should probably bring up the live version from Strangers in the Night, which I did hear, but I don't own Strangers in the Night. I hope to get that soon, because I know it's a classic live album and probably some of the best versions of some of the UFO's big songs. But the studio version is also worth noting, because I still think you get the full experience in the studio cut as well. It's just very very heavy, very driving. The drums are also very big. You're just head banging to it, as my ears flap around. So yeah, you're just head banging to it. Also, Phil Maud, not the greatest singer, or I mean, he's a good singer, but definitely not the most. Definitely doesn't, to me, he doesn't stand out a whole lot against some of the big ones from the 70s, but he definitely does a great job, and the song definitely fits with the music. So yeah, Rock Bottom by UFO. Again, another hard rock classic in my books. Okay, let's move on to my number 55.
Shadows grow so long from my eyes.
Baby I Love Your Way by Peter Frampton. Of course, more specifically from the live album Frampton Comes Alive. I mean, what else am I referring to? But yeah, definitely a more softer song, but a very great song regardless. I mean, absolutely love the acoustic guitar work here, and Peter Frampton just has a great bluesy, almost soulful voice, which is just absolutely very great to hear. And I love the other stuff on this song as well. I love the percussion on it. It's not too overblown. It's perfect for what the song needed. And I even love the keyboard stuff that you hear throughout. It's like very great little moments here and there. Just adds texture to it, and just adds to the overall atmosphere of the song. And yeah, it's definitely worth noting. And I just sorry, I just looked inside. I thought I heard something rattle in here. So anyhow, back on track. So again, I don't have much else to say, but it's definitely a classic, and it's one of the reasons why this live album did so well, I think, with how big some of the songs on here actually did, and definitely way better than the studio versions, I must say. So Baby I Love Your Way by Peter Frampton off Frampton Comes Alive, absolutely mandatory if you want to collecting when it comes to collecting 70s albums and live albums in general. So yep, that's my number 55. Let's go to 54. Africa by Toto. Lots of 80s in this episode, but I'm not complaining. But Africa by Toto, another one of their big hits. This is the one you hear the most, I feel, out of all their songs, especially with the younger crowds. Could be because of Stranger Things. I think so. I believe so. But yep, there's a reason why that song, this song has crossed generations. It's a damn good song. But yeah, it's definitely such a unique song, because it's about literally going to Africa, and it just I don't know, it just has a perfect atmosphere. Lots of great hooks. Again, a lot of, I love my hooks, so that's one of the reasons why a lot of these songs are on the list. But great, I love the verses. Again, great verses. Again, kind of sets the tone, but then when it gets to the chorus, that's where it really starts to elevate. It has this very catchy chorus that we all know very well, and even the whole musically, it's also fits the song, because it's about Africa. So again, the drums has a very African undertone to it, And even the keyboard stuff, like especially during the bridge, when you hear that little keyboard solo, definitely feels like something you hear in like an African documentary, I guess, but it doesn't sound corny or cheesy to me. But yeah, there's a reason why, again, like I said, there's a reason why this song has been remembered so fondly. It's because it's just well done and absolutely deserves to be on this list, especially in terms of the great songs of the 80s. So Africa by Toto, not much else to say. Let's go to number 53. Surrender by Cheap Trick. Probably my most played Cheap Trick song. I mean, it's poppy, it's rocking, it has great vocals, the guitar work is just out of this world. It's absolutely wonderful, and lyrically it's also quite charming as well, because you know, it's about parents, of course, reflecting that time where, you know, our parents are from one generation, and of course the young people are looking at it like, man, our parents are weird. And of course that's no exception. My mom is very weird. My mom's probably watching this like, hi mom. But you know, but I still love her, and that's the whole message. Our parents may act in a certain way, but we still love them and all that stuff, which is a great message, I think. But yeah, Cheap Trick, again, a band I've always enjoyed. I wouldn't say they're one of my favorite bands of all time, but they've definitely had some very well put together songs that again are still very well remembered today, and definitely deserves to be on this list, I think. So Surrender by Cheap Trick, again, another great song. So now let's go to 52. Have You Ever Seen the Rain by Creedence Clearwater Revival. It's been a bit since I talked about CCR, and of course talking about my favorite song, which is Have You Ever Seen the Rain. I mean, again, this is another one of those songs, like, what else is there to say? It's one of their biggest songs, and for good reasons. I just love John Fogerty's vocals on it. It really sells the song, and musically itself is also really good. Again, just capturing that mood that the lyrics are going for. And speaking of the lyrics, of course, they're so universal. Like, you can apply it to anything any time in our lives when, you know, we feel something's coming up, something bad's coming up, but all you can do is just wait for the rain to fall. And definitely, and even though the song was about the band's breakup, you wouldn't have known it, because the lyrics are poetic. It's, again, like I said, it's universal. We can apply it to whatever situation we have in our lives. And yeah, it's definitely the song I play, you know, when it's raining and I'm in a down mood. But you know, nothing wrong with sad songs every once in a while. But yep, I had to put the song up here. Just absolutely love Creedence Clearwater Revival. Just great albums, great songs. So that's my number 52. And now we finally close this episode off with my number 51. Can't Fight This Feeling by REO Speedwagon. And we close off this episode with yet another 80s pop song. And yeah, REO Speedwagon, again, another band where people tend to either like or hate. I'm going to stop playing with these, but as I was saying, but REO Speedwagon, I've always had a soft spot for it, and this song is no exception. Again, it's cheesy. I'm gonna admit it. It's cheesy. It's a bit corny. Definitely very 80s. But again, I've always liked that sound. Again, I grew up listening to that stuff, so I don't mind it. But the thing is, the reason why the song's up here is probably not because of the overall the music or the vocals, but really it's I always kind of laugh a bit. So. Again, I'm gonna tell a little story here. My older brother probably won't enjoy me sharing this, but it's my channel. I can do what I want. But basically, one day my brother and I were listening to this song, and one day we thought, wouldn't it be funny if there was a music video, if somebody was covering the song, but like, again, it's a love song, but instead of your typical love plot, it's like a gang fight. We're stupid like that. Don't judge us. But we just thought it'd be funny if somebody were to cover the song, but the music video would just be a gang fight, and then during the chorus there'll be moments where there's like this brutal gang fight. People are getting punched, people are getting stabbed, but at certain moments, like a couple of the gang fights are like arms in arms, and they're singing the chorus, but the fight's still going, and it's just like, I know we're stupid like that, but that's our sense of humor in a nutshell. But yeah, Can't Fight This Feeling by REO Speedwagon. Let me just, again, it's a great pop song. Nothing else to say. I mean, Kevin Cronin, great vocalist. Again, not one of those big all-timers in my opinion, but definitely knew how to write a good pop tune, and the music itself also fits the overall tone of the songs. Probably not for a gang fight, but you know, if you want to sing this to your loved one or something like that. So again, I have fun with the song. So that's my number 51, and that does it for this episode of my top 100 favorite songs of all time. So in the next episode, we're going to be starting to get into the top 50. So we are halfway there. So again, thank you so much for watching this series so far. It's been a lot of fun making it. It's not fun dealing with the copyright, but I kind of expect that going in. But still, I'm definitely committed to finishing this series. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy this, please give it a like, subscribe. You know the drill. Again, live stream tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So hopefully I'll see you there. And without further ado, I'll see you there. Sorry, it's been a long night. But anyhow, again, bye for now. Happy Halloween.